Hello, today I'm going to be working on this Hikvision CCTV camera. I've got 5 of these cameras. They're really good cameras, but this one, every time there's a power cut, it forgets the settings, it loses the settings, so it resets itself to the factory default IP address, which means that the Synology surveillance station system that I'm using stops recording from that camera because obviously it can't find it. I've been researching this a little bit, read a couple of things about what it could be. It could be a firmware issue, but interestingly I also read a post that said there was a batch of these cameras that had a manufacturing fault whereby the reset button was pressed down permanently, either by it being stuck in the body of the camera, so there's the reset button there, so either by it being just wedged in the body of the camera, or underneath there's some people have had some wires pressing down on the micro switch inside. And I noticed that when I pressed the micro switch, it wasn't making the usual sort of clicking noise that a micro switch would. So I wonder if that's the problem in this case. So let's move the camera around, let's take it apart and see what we find. Okay, so I've got my static earthing strap in place. So I've loosened the mounting bracket. There's 3 screws in the first step anyway. Just see if we can get at those. First one's alright. And I can feel the housing already starting to come a little bit loose, which is good. I don't know whether we're going to need any sort of silicone grease or anything to redo the weather sealing when finished. I haven't taken one of these apart before in case it isn't obvious, so let's see what we get when we undo this. Okay, so we've got a ribbon cable there and what appears to be a packet of sort of moisture absorbing beads or something, which is strange. I wasn't expecting that. So I hope you can see what I'm doing with this ribbon cable. It was a little tab at that side and then another one at that side. They're actually joined together with a central piece, but I levered them up one by one and then the ribbon cable came out. The next thing is those black wires there, which are in on a small plug. So I'm going to take those out next. Okay, I'm going to set this bit to one side. So it looks like we've got 3 more screws to take out. Just realised you can't see anything at all there, sorry about that. Let's try again with a different angle for the other one. Just noticed one of the screws fall out the back. There's a gaskets in place here as well, which I think I'll try to leave in, but if it falls off, it falls off. Last one's in here. Now the question is, how do we get this circuit board off? The pictures I've seen, there's another circuit board underneath this one, and this one is plugged into the one underneath, so I'm wondering if I just give it a bit of very gentle leverage. Seems to be coming. Probably tell from the way I was feeling around the edge of it. It felt loose at that side but tight over here, so that's why I chose to go for that edge. And indeed that's where it was plugged in. I'm going to put the cable coming out of that so it sits down flat. This cable goes round the side of this next circuit board, so I might just try and set it out of the way. You can probably see we've got another 3 screws to have a go at. I'll take this gasket off because it's getting in the way. Remove the last remaining screw because that's getting in the way as well. It's going to fall out anyway. So 3 more screws loose. Only 2 of them have come out into my hand. So just encourage the last one. Bingo, look at that. So I don't know whether you can see that, but this is exactly what I saw in the pictures online. You can see here that not all of these wires are under this clip where they should be, and actually I'll try and get it closer, but no, I'm not sure the camera's going to be able to focus. You can see this red wire has actually got an indentation in it, and it's been permanently pressed in by the micro switch on the PCB. So I think this is, I'm quite happy to have found this actually, because it means it was worthwhile taking it all apart. I think, you see the micro switch, when you press it on the board itself, it's got a definite click to it, whereas I wasn't feeling that when I was pressing in through the reset button from the back. So I reckon this is the cause of the problem. I reckon the reset button has been permanently pressed in, and that's why the camera was resetting itself. So I think the thing to do is to tuck all these wires back in where they belong, put it all back together, and then see how we get on. So it looks as if we've got 2 screws on this little cable holder here. The cable holder is actually attached to the bit that holds the gasket for the reset switch in place. So we'll whip those 2 out. That's loose now. Come on. Okay. So, that red wire does seem slightly longer than the others. See if I can tuck it down there. Right. This is going to be fun. Short break while I get some tweezers. Just checking I've not dislodged the gasket like I just did then. Get it back in place. Alright, hopefully that will be sufficient to just get the screws started. Winding it backwards first just to make sure I've not cross-threaded it. Same again with the other one. Yeah, I've got to be careful I'm not pinching the wire behind this plate. Looks alright. Doing both up. Obviously not doing one all the way then the other, just doing gradually from side to side so that we tighten things down nice and evenly. Those wires can still all move, so that's good. Right, give them a final tighten. Okay. Don't think that wire wants to be that side of that. These screws all look the same. Okay, so those 3 screws are in place. Just going to see how that reset button feels now before we go any further. I don't know if you can hear that click, but I can, and I can also feel it. That feels completely different to how the camera did before, so I'm really hopeful that this is going to have fixed it. So let's carry on putting it back together. So I'll just turn that over so you can see. So this circuit board in my right hand plugs into here, so I guess we better be pretty careful just to get it all lined up. That feels good, and it's lined up with all the screw holes as well, which is obviously a bonus. Right. Okay, so now the gasket. Don't know if you can see that. It's just got a little lip on it that side, which corresponds to that one. So we know which way round it goes, and we need to remember to do that before connecting the cables back together. That's the sort of thing I would all too easily forget to do. Okay, so I put it on that side. Which one should we go for first? Let's do it in the order we took it off. Pins are further towards the back. You probably should just tell I was checking which way round we were doing this. You could always watch the video back to find out. Okay. And then when putting this back together, fortunately both parts of the camera have got a sticker on, and those stickers lined up, so we know which way, any comeback gasket, we know which way around they were. Now somehow I've got to hold these in place. Does that come out completely? This is tricky. Fiddly, shall I say. Okay, that looks fine. Making sure those are both pressed all the way in, which they are. Make sure the gasket seats properly. And put it back together. Just lining up those holes. Right. As with all the other bits, do all the screws up loosely first and tighten them down a bit more afterwards. Small spider's web in that one. If you have CCTV cameras like this of your own, you'll know that spider's webs are a common problem on the lens side anyway. Not so much in the screw holes. So, one camera back together. What I'm going to do now is plug it in, change the IP address, unplug it, plug it back in, and see if it can retain the IP address. Okay, so good news, that is a fix. connected it up, found it using the SADP software, put the new password in, changed the IP address, and then disconnected the network cable, which is also the power because it's power over Ethernet. Waited a couple of minutes, plugged it back in, and it has remembered all the settings, so that is really good news. It's fixed. If you've got similar issues with your Hikvision IP camera, I suggest you give it a go, and I hope this video was helpful for you if you end up doing that. Thanks also to the person who posted this originally on one of the forums that I read. I'm sorry I can't remember which one it was because I read quite a few, but thanks very much. Thanks for watching!